Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Packernet Podcast. I am your host and resident fanalist, as always, Ryan Schlip. Check us out online, packernet.com. Find me on Twitter, pack_data. Boy, well, I suppose I should launch into what happened in the Packer game. I'm just coming off that Bears loss, though, and I'm riding a little bit high. I'm going to try to suppress that, try to remember the Packer game a little bit, and do the thing. We're gonna have to talk about the Bears a little bit, though, because I am riding high. By the way, it's going to be a fun week for laughing at the enemy between the Lions and the Cowboys and the 49ers and the Bears. Oh, it's going to be good. Bears are going to get their own episode for sure, but boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. All right, again, let's start with the Packers. One of the more unusual games that I've ever seen, which makes sense. Kind of, although you probably haven't gotten many of my podcasts lately, kind of like I've been talking about, though, where Matt LaFleur is going to have to get into his bag and kind of mix it up. You know, you have Malik, who is a threat no matter what. Whether or not you want to use that doesn't really matter. He is a threat. And so you have that in your back pocket. You can use that to your advantage, as well as a lot of other things that we have at our disposal. And Matt LaFleur obviously understood the assignment, as they say, and really leaned into it. I mean, he had the option. He had the option of saying, well, next man up, Malik is our quarterback, so we got to treat him like a quarterback and just try to run our offense as though Jordan Love is out there. They did not do that. And, understood the limitations of Malik, not only just in terms of not trusting him as a passer, but also just the guy's been here for 3 weeks. He doesn't understand the offense as much. So you're careful, right? And so, Matt LaFleur, I tell you what, let's just play this because I think this kind of embodies everything. Here is Matt LaFleur and the locker room speech and what he had to say.
Hey, bring it up nice and tight. Let's go. Come on, bring it in here. I'm so damn proud of this football team. Everybody in here, man. We talked about playing complimentary football. That was complimentary football at its finest. Give it up for yourself.
First of all, pause there. Yes. Right. I've got my complaints about a couple things that happened, things that should have been a lot tighter, a lot cleaner, whatever. But you can't argue with the fact that the defense did everything it needed to do. Scoreboard looked fantastic. It's almost the opposite of last week. It's like, I feel like the defense did a good job, but the scoreboard sucks. This week, I was not happy with anything. Can't stop the run, can't tackle, everybody's wide open all day long, but scoreboard, and not only that, making plays when it matters. The opposite of the defenses we've had for a long time. First and second down, we dominate. Third down, we just give it away. This is like, bro, we can't do anything. Next thing you know, it's third down, and we get off the field, and it's like, wait a minute, I was just upset. Why are they punting? I don't understand. That happens so fast. What's going on? Or pick or something. Yes, complimentary football. The special teams coming up. Punter, good Lord. Kicker, 75%, I guess we'll take it. Yeah, just everybody doing, and that's what you have to do in these games. You can't expect to go out there and just be like, we're going to be this amazing Super Bowl caliber team. We're going to crush it. No, dude, this is going to be ugly, and we have to find a way to win ugly.
Our defense, 10. Three takeaways. Kenny with the pick. Wilson with the pick. And Evan Williams with the final pick. On defense. Give it up for Daniel Whalen.
Yeah. That punter, man. I'm a little bit late to the party because everybody's been gassing this guy up for a long time, and I'm like, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen it a ton. He had a great freaking game. Not only just booming it, like when he needs to boom it, he booms it. When he needs a clutch kick, we get a clutch kick. Listen to this.
3 punts inside the 20-yard line.
Jeez.
How about the big boys up front? 53 rushes for 260.
we'll get into it, but that is, I don't want to say a record-breaking amount, but that is one of the best rushing games the Packers have ever had in their entire history.
I got to give it up for this guy.
Oh, yeah, you know it.
This guy was here 3 weeks ago, man. 3 weeks ago.
You know it.
3 weeks ago.
You know it.
He was 12 of 14 for 122.
I just appreciate y'all boys helping me out along the way, bro, instilling confidence in me and helping me, go out there and play.
You want to talk about a humble young guy. Malik, as a human being, was built to be a Packer. I mean, this guy, there's an interview, I probably won't end up playing it, but not just polite, but like, it's hard to even explain the whole thing. I'll give you an example. He's doing the post-game presser. I don't know if you saw it. And I think like the final question was, are you proud? In other words, like, are you proud of yourself? His answer, no, I don't get proud. Right? Like, I just the idea that she said proud and he said no. No, I like that's a bad thing. Pride is a bad thing. I don't get proud. I'm not proud of myself. I'm just grateful. And he gave all the praise, first of all, to God, but then to Matt LaFleur for, he said, believing in me and putting me in a position to succeed. I mean, he was just heaping praise on everybody. Very simple question. Are you proud of yourself? The answer, no. No, it's got nothing to do with me. By the way, it's funny. Somebody pointed this out. I do remember it happening at the time during the draft. I completely forgot all about it. So in the year that he got drafted, I don't remember what year that was. It was for the Combine. Everybody's just showing up. There was a video of Malik. There was a homeless guy on the street corner. Malik pulls up with his suitcase. He's still got his suitcase. Like, he's just getting to his hotel. He stops, opens up his suitcase, starts handing the guy stuff. Just starts giving him all this stuff. He gives him a coat, a shirt, whatever it is that was in his bag that he could give him. He just started handing him stuff. I'm not expecting Malik Willis to be this elite player or anything else, or even to necessarily have a great game next week. I don't know what's going to happen. But it should be highlighted. Absolutely A+ human being. So that's a really cool thing, and I think the guys are going to love him. They obviously played for him today. That was obvious. He mentioned the stats for Malik. It was 12 of 14 for 100 and something. You could look at that and be like, it wasn't that much. I mean, it's just one touchdown. He didn't even get to 200 yards. The bottom line is, though, there were 14 times he was called upon. I don't think he could have done really any better in those 14 attempts than what he did. He was not called upon to do very much. Only 14 times Matt LaFleur called in and said, we need you. He delivered 12 of those as completions. And a touchdown. No interceptions. Really didn't even put the ball in harm's way at all. He had a role and he played it perfectly. And then as far as like the guys going out and play for him, man, I mean, the offensive line played about as hard as they could. Apparently 2 different offensive linemen threw up. Josh Myers threw up on the football on a 3rd down. It was the play where Malik is kind of rolling to the outside, didn't throw the ball, and Matt LaFleur was even asking him, like, why didn't you throw it? Like, what the heck's going on? And he goes, because Josh puked on the football. Like, Matt LaFleur said, I've never heard anything like that before. And then there was another report, I forgot who it was. Somebody said that somebody came to the sideline and threw up twice. I guess it was kind of hot, but the amount of run plays, the amount of physical exertion that they had to play, and just how hard they worked. Because, Matt LaFleur even, he mentioned that he called out. It was in an article written, I think, by Huber. I guess they had kind of a bad practice, and he sort of went over to the offensive line, or maybe Josh Myers in particular, I don't know, and basically told him, like, look, man, this isn't good enough. We got to rely on you. If we're going to win this game, we need the offensive line. And you guys have got to play. And, man, they dug deep. and they went after it. You look at the running backs, Josh Jacobs, holy crap, did he have a game. Even the other two, their yards per carry isn't great. Everybody's yards per carry plummeted. It was great. Everybody was great early. It started to plummet in the second half because, we ran the ball and they knew it was coming. So I'm not worried about the yards per carry, but especially early in the game when there was any yards to get, these guys, they fought hard. Jacobs did have that one fumble that was really unfortunate. It was like the 1 inch line. Should have been a touchdown, but whatever. He's basically had 2 touchdowns robbed from him, one from a penalty and one from a fumble. Granted, it was his fault. Hard to say robbed, but whatever. But man, they dug deep. Then you look at the wide receivers. Dontavian Wicks went up and caught that pass. That could have sailed right over his head. He skied up and grabbed it. 2 hands, got his feet down. Romeo Doubs grabbing everything, including that freaking ridiculous back shoulder ball, goes up and mosses the defender, just not going to be denied on that play. Jaden Reed doing it again, just doing everything that he can, working a ton behind the line of scrimmage. He lined up in the backfield the entire first quarter as a dual back with Jacobs and whatnot, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Everybody was called upon in this game to get a little bit out of their comfort zone. The wide receivers, you got to step up. You got to help this guy out. You can't be dropping the ball. Tight ends, likewise, same thing. Musgrave, no drops. He caught his pass. He got upfield. Tucker Kraft, a nice little relief valve. Caught that pass, gets upfield for a big first down. Receivers were extremely reliable in their limited capacity. Everybody's got a block. I thought the offensive line, again, did a fantastic job for the most part, keeping the quarterback clean and again, just digging it out in the run game. Overwhelmingly happy with the offensive performance in particular. We'll let this thing ride out here.
That's one game, man. That's one game. We'll enjoy it for 24 hours, and then we get back at this thing. We got a damn good football team, man.
Hold up.
And it's never perfect, but I think the sky's the limit for this group. We got to keep battling, and we got to stay together. That is key. Hang on for the ride, all right? I failed to mention, happy birthday, Sean Ryan.
Hey. Man, great freaking win today. Celebrated 24 to 36 hours. But the best teams, man, keep going from here, man. It ain't no teetering. The best teams keep going, and we all gonna stay together and stick together as one and have each other back from here on out. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Pack on 3, 1, 2, 3.
That's hilarious. Matt LaFleur says, hey, 24 hours and we're right back to work. Jair comes up. He's like, you heard, coach, 24 to 36 hours later. Oh, that dude's funny. But yeah, I mean, the offense was unbelievably impressive to me. Again, on the defensive side, I was a little bit more frustrated. Again, the results were perfect, but I just feel like when the Colts weren't shooting themselves in the foot, when they tried to run, it was far too often right there. Way too many big chunk plays. The passing game, I am stunned how wide open everybody was. There must have just been nonstop miscommunications. Guys that were specifically on my you-know-what list, Keyshawn Nixon and Quay Walker. Quay dropped an interception that hit him right in the face. That was a critical drop for an interception. Stokes, I feel like, as much as I kind of like him in run support and everything, they've been asking him to play man-to-man coverage all day, and I don't think he can do it. I don't know. I know Carrington Valentine got turned around on one of the plays real bad. Man coverage has really been a struggle for some of these guys. I can't think of anybody else necessarily in particular. I'm sure there was a lot of mistakes. Again, the run defense wasn't there. But, again, when it mattered, they made a play. Right? It was like, oh, here we go again. Another 15-yard run. They're right down the field. Pick. Like, oh. All right. Thanks, Xavier. Appreciate that. It's pretty cool. Again, they're doing all this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Eric Wilson pick. Beautiful pick, by the way. Holy crap. Just right in front of the guy. Hands catch out in front of him. Not a thing you usually see from a linebacker, especially a guy that's specifically like a special teamer, like the third or fourth linebacker down the depth chart. And he just beautiful coverage, drops in space, 2 hands on the ball, plucks it out of the air like it's nothing. Let's see. Bullard, I didn't see him much, but when I did, I was excited about it. I don't know exactly what happened with Stokes. I didn't get a full thing on that. Somebody mentioned that he got pulled, but Valentine really started to struggle down the stretch, and they didn't put Stokes back in. So I'm wondering if it's an injury or if Stokes just really was on the outs. I don't know what happened. But Valentine did come in. He looked good at first, but then it was, again, I'm just seeing him get beat over and over again. Rashawn was in my opinion, getting some decent pressure. It was a little bit frustrating again, where the pressure would seemingly, they're always close to the quarterback, but not necessarily enough to make an impact. The ball's getting out. So I want to give him credit because it's like, you're just pushing the tackle straight back into the guy, but at the same time, you're not disrupting the play, largely, I think, because of the coverage, but whatever. We can go back and reassess that. I don't want to speak too strongly into that until I get a better idea of what exactly happened. Devontae Wyatt, very happy with him. That sack around the outside was incredible. I love seeing Wyatt get a sack, but then on top of it, the fact that he went to the outside. He didn't line up outside, but he stunts to the outside or whatever. And to be able to start inside, go outside, still beat the guy to the outside, and get to the quarterback, that dude's got some freaking wheels, man. Holy cow. Van Ness, pretty typical day for him where he's mostly quiet. He's quiet just long enough for the comment section to make some snarky remark about Van Ness isn't doing enough, and he comes and makes a huge play behind the line of scrimmage. Again, one of those things where it's like, man, we got to make a play here, and those big hits behind the line of scrimmage are critical. You're looking at like a 2nd and 4, and it's like, oh, geez, this is terrible. You get a 5-yard loss, turns that into a 3rd and 9 for a defense that wants nothing more than an opportunity to tee off and a quarterback that can't get anything going. That's critical. I mean, that stuff makes a huge difference. So big play for him. Can't really highlight anybody necessarily. We'll wait to see what PFF had to say. Last week they highlighted Edgerrin Cooper, and I went back and watched it. It was incredible. So I'm guessing there's some really good plays from some of these guys. It was pretty quiet around Jair, which I think is a positive. I know there was one play that somebody got caught against him, and immediately the comment section is, oh, he's trash or whatever. Like, oh, good Lord. But I didn't really see hardly any passes go his way all day, so I have to assume he had a decent enough day. But we will see. But again, similar to week 1 and week 2 now, the good thing is there's still a lot of really good here. But there's also a lot of sloppy. And it's not like I know that was the play call. Like, that touchdown where Keyshawn should have gotten some depth there, I'm assuming. Or, just guys that are getting left wide open for one reason or another. Somebody slipped or a miscommunication. These are things that you don't, let's just say you don't have to assume will continue. This isn't a talent deficiency necessarily. Now, again, maybe Keyshawn is not going to cut it in man coverage. I don't know. Maybe it was just an off day, whatever. But there's every reason to believe the sky is the limit. I love the pass rush of this team. I love the takeaways. I love the offense with the offensive line starting to get going, with Josh Jacobs starting to get going, and we don't even have Jordan back. You imagine if they couldn't just key in on the run in the second half because they were scared of Jordan and we just carved them up on the ground the entire game? Good Lord. It's very rare that we put 30-plus carries on a running back. In fact, I'd be curious to know the last time we've ever done that. I don't know if Matt LaFleur's ever done that with his time with the Packers. I know we've gotten up into the 20s, maybe a few times in the 30s, but it's very, very rare. So to be able to have a guy that we can just put that on his shoulders because he's just built that way. Again, get Jordan back. The receivers playing better. Remember, week 1, receivers weren't necessarily, Wicks is dropping passes and stuff. A lot of stupid mistakes. I think there were less mistakes this week, especially the offense. And by the way, before we take a break, Matt LaFleur, massive round of applause to Matt LaFleur. I think he got a little vanilla starting in the second half. I don't know if he started milking the clock a little bit too early or what, but all that like lining up crazy stuff in the backfield and fake handoff here, handoff up the middle, that just went away. And it was just 11 personnel handoff up the middle. I don't know why we did that, but whatever, we won the game. Let's take a break, come back, get specific with some of the stats, and we'll go from there. We'll be right back. All right, let's do let's go through some of these statistics here. By the way, Packers go to 1-1, winning 16-0 against the Indianapolis Colts. Malik Willis, 12 of 14, 122 yards and a touchdown. 39 yards was his longest, 126.8 passer rating. On the ground, Josh Jacobs, 32 carries, 151 yards, 4.7 yards per carry. 34-yard carry was his longest. My goodness. Malik Willis also had 6 carries for 41 yards. That's good for 6.8 yards per carry. Jaden Reed again with the carries. He had 2 for 37 yards. That's good for 18.5 yards per carry. His longest was 22. Marshawn Lloyd, 6 carries, 15 yards, 2.5, which again seems really bad, but he had a really good start in the beginning, and then when the defense was just shutting everything down, that's when he's getting like 1 yard. It killed his yards per carry. I'm not worried about it. He's not Josh Jacobs, but I thought he did some really good stuff, especially just being real quick and shifty. I'm excited to see him with some space in front of him. Emmanuel Wilson, likewise. I mean, if you want to get an idea of how to feel about Marshawn Lloyd, we know how good Emmanuel Wilson was. He looked really good in the beginning also. 5 carries, 9 yards, 1.8 yards per carry. Do I care that he got 1.8? No, that's fake. It's fake. It's fake. I don't care. And then Bo Melton, 2 carries for 8 yards. That's good for 4 yards per carry. We'll get to the cumulative stuff in just a minute. Actually, before we move off that, I want to look at something. So check this out. Green Bay Packers who have had 32 or more carries. Ready? Let's go in chronology. The last time it happened was 2008 with Ryan Grant, who had 33 carries. Before that was 2004 with Amon Green, who had 33. Before that was 1997. Dorsey Levens had 33. Before that was 1978 with Turdell Middleton, who had 39 attempts. And then it was 1974 with John Brockington, who had 32. And then 1967 with Jim Grabowski with 32. That's it. And by the way, and I understand the yards per carry difference here, in the time that Matt LaFleur has been here, he's only ever seen a running back run for 151 or more yards twice. Aaron Jones in 2019, 154, and in 2020, 168. That's it. Moving on to the receivers here. Really, I mean, not a lot of completions, period, but really spread the ball around. Just 3 for Dontavian Wicks for 26 yards and a touchdown. 3 for Romeo Doubs for 62 yards. 2 for Tucker Kraft for 16. 2 for Jaden Reed for 9. And then 1 for Marshawn Lloyd for 3 yards. 1 for Luke Musgrave for 6 yards. So everybody getting in there and contributing. You got both tight ends. You don't have Christian Watson, but I'm not super surprised about that, although they could have gotten him involved. When you're really not pushing the ball down the field, Christian Watson is probably not going to be your number one target. So that's completely understandable for anybody that's discouraged or upset or whatever the case may be. Defensive stats, leading the team with tackling, actually pretty well spread out. Only 6 was Quay Walker. After that is 5 with Javon Bullard for still making his name known. Sack, he had the 1 from Devontae Wyatt. Tackles for a loss, Wyatt with 2, McKinney with 1, Lucas Van Ness with 1. Forced fumbles, Eric Wilson had 1. Interceptions, Xavier McKinney got the first one, then Wilson, then Evan Williams to close out the game. I don't care if you want to give him half credit for that or whatever. A pick's a pick, man, and the Packers get 3 in one game. Absolutely incredible. Again, we're getting what it is we were told we would get. Everything else is rocky. The results are not where we necessarily need them to be, but we were supposed to be more aggressive. They're more aggressive, right? It's supposed to be this press man, single high defense. That's what you're getting. Attacking the quarterback, that's what you're getting. Takeaways, that's what we're getting. So, hopefully the rest of it comes, but real exciting stuff. And then pass deflections. Again, I think the interceptions are included in this, but we'll go through it anyway. Xavier McKinney, Eric Wilson, Evan Williams, Isaiah McDuffie, Javon Bullard, Jair Alexander, and Carrington Valentine. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll call plays on the ball. Wait, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. 7 plays on the ball, which would be picks and just straight up pass breakups. Kick returns, there were none in this game. As I said, I just don't think that's going to be a big thing this year. Punt returns, Jaden Reed had 1 for 0 yards, so really no punt returns either. Colts didn't have any punts, so there were 0 returns in this game. 1 fair catch from Jaden Reed. The punting from Daniel Whalen, 3 punts, 139 yards, 46.3 average, 3 for 3 inside the 20, with 59 yards being his longest punt. Braden Narvison was 3 of 4 with 1 extra point that he nailed. Again, 75% isn't exactly what you're looking for in a kicker, but hey, if he crushes all of his extra points and comes away with, I mean, if it's 3 out of 4 in a game, I think you can live with it. And I think that's where most Packer fans are at. Nobody's necessarily disgusted with that. Like, hey, make all the extra points, give me 3 or 4, I'll live with it. Team stats, one of the more impressive things I've ever seen. Time of possession, 40 minutes to under 20. 40 minutes and 11 seconds to 19 minutes and 49 seconds. I don't know if I've ever seen 40 before. I'll have to see if I can look that up. I don't know if that's a stat that I can search anywhere, but that's super crazy. They ran 67 offensive plays for 383 total yards, 5.7 yards per play. They did have 6 penalties for 50 yards, which is better than last week, but still kind of hope to clean it up. After watching that Bears game, I think 6 is basically 0. 1 touchdown, 3 of 4 on field goals. We know all that already. Let's see. The passing, we already got that, but 85.7% completion rate is wild. The other guy on the other side, 50%. Let's see, 10.2 yards per completion. Pass rating 126.8. 53 carries for 261 yards, 4.9 yards per attempt. That is, by the way, the 53 carries is the most carries by a Green Bay Packers football team since 1978. 1978 is the last time the Packers carried for 53 or more yards. That is freaking crazy. Now, there were 27 other times, but again, that's back in the days of running the ball. To give you some idea, it goes all the way back to 1934, when the Green Bay Packers on September 16th, 1934, ran 58 times against Philadelphia. Let's see, is it even the Philadelphia? When you go back that far, it's end up like the Philadelphia freaking tool makers or something. No, it's the Eagles. But in their storied history, I mean, even back then, it was something they did once every 2 years. So, yeah, we're talking, 40 years since this has happened? Absolutely crazy. Maybe even a little crazier or less. It hasn't happened as often. The 261 yards. Only 17 other times in Packers history. The last time was December 28th, 2003. They did actually twice that year. 2003. And by the way, the last time they did it, the Packers won 31-3. So that's one of those games where they're running because they're not passing. Right? Like they put the game away at halftime and then just ran the ball the rest of the time. And there's several of these. In 1973, they won 21-0. In 62, they won 49-0. So there were several games where the reason they did it is because they were up by so much. Even the first 2 times, 1940 and 1937. It was a 28-7 and 35-7 victories. There's a few others where it was, maybe closer games or whatever, similar to this. But holy cow. I mean, this is in modern football times, this is maybe the 3rd time. Again, you had the 2 times in 2003, kind of close to each other, November 2nd and December 28th, 2003. Before that was 1985. So it's the 3rd time in my lifetime that this has happened. 53 carries, 261 yards. It is whatever. It's freaking ridiculous. They had 19 first downs. Let's see, they were 59% on third down. They were only 33% in the red zone. Unfortunately, that continues to be a problem for the Packers. What else do we got here? We already did passes defended and all that good stuff. 19 total interception return yards. 1 sack for 6 yards. 30 solo tackles. Blah blah blah. Nobody cares. I think we're where we need to be. Let's take our final break. I want to see the PFF recap. Kind of go through a little bit of that, and then I just want to touch a little bit on the Bears. We got to do a little bit. We'll save laughing at the enemy. They're going to get a whole episode at some point, but we got to touch on it because it's been a fun night. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Alrighty, PFF's recap kind of gives us a glimpse into what's going to end up happening tomorrow sometimes. Josh Jacobs ran over the Indianapolis Colts' depleted defense on a heavy workload, and the Green Bay Packers secondary made Anthony Richardson look human. No. Sorry, PFF. I thought we could make amends. I kind of went hard at you this past week. That's incorrect. Anthony Richardson has looked less than human his entire NFL career. He's looked quite bad. The Green Bay Packers made Anthony Richardson look like he is not even a backup. Like, this dude doesn't belong anywhere on a football field. So I understand that's not as concise and pithy as you put it, but Although the Packers were without starting signal caller Jordan Love, fill-in Malik Willis did enough, mostly handing off the ball to Jacobs, to help Green Bay upend the Colts in Week 2, 16-10. PFF's dedicated team of graders was hard at work analyzing every player on every play in real time. The grades and data will be available tomorrow. In the meantime, we've gathered some high-level data and snap counts from the game to give you a blah, blah, blah. Player of the game, Packers interior defender Grover Stewart locked up the middle of the line with 5 tackle contributions, 2 for a loss, no gain in run defense. A missed tackle was his lone blemish in that department. What? Grover Stewart is a Colts defensive tackle, so lone blemish on PFF, who is just rapidly falling apart before my very eyes. Let's get into some of the actual snap counts and whatnot that they were able to tally. So guys that played every single snap, along with Malik Willis, Rasheed Walker, Josh Myers, Zach Tom, and Elton Jenkins. Obviously, the odd men out here would be the guards. Sean Ryan played 50 snaps. Jordan Morgan 20. I believe Jordan Morgan went out with an injury. I'll provide more updates on all the injury stuff tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. We'll have some more information. Tucker Kraft actually had the next highest behind the guys that played every single snap. Tucker Kraft in there a lot, which makes sense. And that, people had been talking about that. Going to need his big body out there blocking and whatnot. Followed by Romeo Doubs with 55. Then Sean Ryan with 50. Josh Jacobs 47. Then Watson. Then Reed. Then Wicks. Then Musgrave. And then after Jordan Morgan was Bo Melton with just 16. Emmanuel Wilson 13. Lloyd 10. Ben Sims with 6. They brought him out a couple times for some extra heavy big boy work. Defensive snap counts. The only guys that played every single snap, interestingly enough, Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney, and Quay Walker. I hate to be that kind of a guy, but I'm kind of hoping Quay's numbers dip. I don't know, man. I feel like Quay has never been the guy that we wanted him to be. And in year 3, I don't really see a scenario where, now he's really good. I don't think it's going to be a thing. But whatever. Isaiah McDuffie was the next up with 50, followed by Keyshawn Bullard with 42, Gary 37, Kenny Clark. He had more than Kenny, which is surprising. Rashawn Gary 37, Kenny 35, Valentine in with 32. Again, we'll get some clarity on the Stokes thing tomorrow. Kingsley 32, Preston 28. Preston also quite a bit lower. Preston's kind of an odd thing too with, just not being very productive. I think somebody had either called in or it was on the live stream. I don't remember, but kind of a where in the world is Carmen Sandiego thing going on with Preston Smith. 28 snaps is not a ton compared to, Rashawn's 37. Usually Preston is getting more snaps than Rashawn. Not that I ever agreed with that, and I think that the defensive coordinator was out of his mind. But now Rashawn Gary obviously is getting as many opportunities as is humanly possible, even more so than Kenny, which is rare. Preston getting significantly less, and actually less than Kingsley and Igbare. So maybe there was a little bit of an injury thing in there temporarily. I'm not entirely sure. Very odd to see Kingsley ahead. But then you got Wyatt 25, Stokes with his 24, Brooks 23, Williams 20, Slayton 19, Lucas Van Ness 19, Wilson with 8, Edrin Cooper with 7. So we were told Cooper would be playing a lot more. He really wasn't. He really didn't play anymore. So I don't know if he just was struggling out there and they pulled him or what. But I'm very surprised that after week one's performance and after Matt LaFleur explicitly saying because of that performance you're going to be seeing more of him, he played 7 snaps. I don't know. But still hopeful that Edrin's going to be able to produce for us at a pretty high level. We shall see. All right, let's talk very briefly. It's, by the way, going on 1 o'clock in the morning, so I really have to go to bed. What do we got here? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to let Twitter do the talking for me. I'm going to tell you some of my favorite things that I've seen just making fun of the Chicago Bears because, it's one thing for Packer fans to just lay into Caleb. But I don't know if you guys watched the Bears game, but Chris Collinsworth was calling it, and I have never, I think ever since Elway, not even today, like Elway 10 years ago, when it seemed like the bias against the Packers was just unbelievable. I don't think I've wanted to ever strangle a guy as much as I wanted to strangle Chris Collinsworth. I mean, they've been talking up Bears quarterbacks since Justin Fields arrived, and all. But this was the most disgusting display of just slobbering all over a guy that had done nothing ever. Like he did nothing in week 1. He had done nothing in this game, and they treated him like he's some kind of a freaking superhero. And so it's annoying when and again, this is what was going on with Fields for such a long time, is it's basically like 50% of Packer fans that are like, Fields is trash. 50% of Packer fans are like, no, he's not. It's the offense. They're buying into all the bull crap. 90% of the media was defending Fields. 100% of Bears fans, like it wasn't as fun. So to see the entire world come crashing down and just basically say, wow, Caleb sucks. Like, this is trash. Everybody except, and even Collinsworth at the end was like, this is kind of garbage. Like, I can't even defend this anymore. It just felt good. It felt good. So first of all, I started retweeting everything just so I can come back to this and kind of go through some stuff. Everybody around the NFL just kind of coming down hard on Caleb, but also the contrast. People like Peter Schrager with a tweet that just says, Malik Willis, thumbs up. There's a ton of that. I didn't start retweeting it because I didn't even think about it until after. Tons and tons of people talking about Matt LaFleur, all the guy does is win, and Malik Willis, all this just positive stuff for the Packers. Well done. Great performance. Way to go for Malik. All that stuff. In contrast to that, here is a post. It's a great account. I'm going to follow them now, called Hater Central. 128,000 followers. So, it's not just some random hater. Caleb Williams on Sunday Night Football, 174 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Justin Fields, if he was sassy and had no production. Darn it with this cough. I can't even laugh without dying. Justin Fields, if he was sassy and had no production. It's funny because it's true. And I said this. Remember, although I kind of said, look, it's going to be unlikely if he's bad. It's one of those things. Bears eventually got to hit it on a quarterback. He was a talented quarterback. But if you look at him in college, he had a lot of the same issues as Justin Fields. And so if he's struggles as much as Fields struggles, but he just doesn't have the mobility, which hilariously, I think he's a Packers fan, was like less athleticism. What are you guys talking about? Like, are you out of your freaking mind? You think people think Williams is that athletic. He's not that athletic. The guy ran like a 4.6. All right, I'm sorry. Because he scrambled around in the Pac-12 and made some throws, people think that he's Justin Fields athletic. I struggle with people sometimes, I swear. But and so far he's been worse at like reading defenses and Justin Fields at least once or twice in a game was going to just have that beautiful pass down the side. Williams has not done that once yet. He's made passes, but there hasn't been like in the preseason he had some. He hasn't done it. So yeah, he is Justin Fields if he's sassy and has no production. Bears season said, they're doubting you, 18. Shock the world tonight. He posted that before the game, to which I retweeted, believe me, we're shocked. FanDuel Sportsbook, again, pretty big company here, says Caleb Williams throws it deep, and it's Conor McGregor throwing like that hook shot, like no idea, never thrown a football in my life throw, if you've ever seen that meme. Here is, by the way, this is hilarious. Let's see, who put this out there? VJ, I don't know who that is. Go Bolts, I think he's a Colts fan, which is hilarious, like random, because it's Sunday Night Football, so you got Colts fans and Steelers fans and Jets fans just piling on Caleb because this was in front of a national audience. Makes me so happy. But anyways, he posted this little reminder. He said, never forget, DJ Moore didn't want the Bears to move on from Justin Fields. Here is DJ Moore.
Y'all asked me that, last week? Somebody asked me that last week. I'm still like, bro, where are y'all seeing this? Like, what makes him not the quarterback for the Chicago Bears right now? I get y'all got everybody coming out. It's like two of them. I don't think they better than Justin, so they cool.
Just so we're clear on what's happening, this is prior to the draft, prior to Justin Fields going away. They're constantly asking him about Justin leaving, and he's like, why do you want to get rid of Justin Fields? And he said, I get that you have these guys coming out of college, there's like two of them that people are excited about or whatever. They're not better than Justin Fields. And hilariously, so far, he's right. Here's one. It's way funnier if you can see the video, but the music alone should do it. Just so you know, and who posted this? Not that it super matters. It is Bodied by Zion, whatever that means. The caption says, Caleb Williams' brain when it's time to read a defense. That's too good, man. I can't. Jacob Foster, who don't know who he is, says Chicago Bears could have had Justin Fields and Marvin Harrison, but instead took Caleb Williams. I love this so much. You got a bunch of people ripping on Caleb because, Caleb's whole thing in college was he's breaking away from all these guys and he makes this crazy throw. And Mike McDaniel, not the actual coach, but he's followed by like 25,000 people, says, this MF for Caleb Williams out here acting like he's playing Arizona State. We got a Vikings account, Jay Jets fan. Caleb Williams when he's playing 19-year-old Caleb Williams when he isn't playing 19-year-old business majors, and it's a pick of Trey Lance, which is awesome, because the last time I had less faith in a football player after watching like a game was probably Trey Lance. Not even kidding. Usually, like I said, I was scared. Maybe it's just because it's the third time around and I give up. I was scared of Trubisky for three years. Scared of Fields for like 3 years. A little bit less in this last year, but still like, maybe. I listen, it's possible. I'm out, man. This is trash. This dude, you get pressure on him, he's cooked. I mean, he can throw an accurate ball if there's no pressure and there's a guy wide open. Like, he'll deliver a strike. And I'm sure there's going to be some beautiful passes from him a couple times this year. And he'll probably get a touchdown eventually this year. So far, he's on pace for 0 touchdowns. I think we'll get to my tweet, but it's like 2,200 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions is what he's on pace for. Not really sure that that's going to break all the Bears records, the 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns or whatever. John says, and it's again him scrambling around trying to make a play and then getting sacked. He says, Caleb Williams trying to scramble around against grown men with 3 kids trying to feed a family and not 20-year-old redshirt juniors who major in finance. And that's been like the whole thing is, like, these are grown men. And these are the things where he used to make huge plays. These are the kinds of things, like those picks. He broke away from a sack. His jersey gets ripped. He rolls to the side. We'll get to a clip of that in a minute, which is hilarious. And he launches down the field. Those are the kinds of things that made Caleb Williams famous. But in this case, you launch a pass down there against NFL defenders, and that's a pick instead of a 70-yard touchdown. I'm going to prop myself up here. Max Markham is one of the big Bears accounts that's always tweeting about how great they are or whatever. But he said Chicago Bears got, and this is after Carolina got smoked again. Chicago Bears got Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Darnell Wright, Tyreek Stevenson, Torrey Taylor, and a 2025 second for this. And it's showing Bryce, what the heck is his name? I'm so fried. The quarterback. My quote tweet, Bears got fleeced. By the way, let's talk about it. There he is, Bryce Young. Bryce Young in his first 2 starts passed for, in his first game, 146 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. In his second game, 153 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions. So that is over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in his first 2 games, compared to Caleb Williams, who has, he has not even hit 300 yards in 2 games, has 0 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Bryce Young had a better start than Caleb Williams, who has loaded, right? Cole Kmet is a good football player. DJ Moore was a top 10 receiver last year. They have a rookie wide receiver who I said they should not draft, but oh, you're stupid. He's special. You'll see. He's going to be so good. You can't pass on a guy like that. He's a generational talent. You can't pass on him. Yeah, Roma Dunze has been absolute dog crap for 2 weeks now. Keenan Allen's hurt, but still, in week 1, Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, elite right tackle that can't fail, Darnell Wright. You got Tevin Jenkins, who's an absolute freak. Nate Davis, who they went out and got in free agency. Braxton Jones, who is a dominant left tackle. Cole Kmet, incredible tight end. DeAndre Swift, the greatest running back of all time, according to Bears fans. I mean, this offense is loaded. How are you going to stop it with that defense on top of everything? And that's what Caleb walked into. Again, Keenan got hurt. I understand that. That's one injury. You still got everything else I listed. All these offensive linemen that are just unstoppable. Darnell Wright, man, he's 333 pounds. He's just a force. You went out and got DeAndre Swift. You got Cole Kmet. You got Roma Dunze. You got top 10 DJ Moore. And Caleb Williams cannot produce at a level that Bryce Young produced at with nothing. Nothing. Remember, you took DJ Moore away from Bryce Young. He's out there working with 42-year-old Adam Thielen or whatever the hell he's got going on in Carolina. He still produced at a higher level than Caleb in the first 2 weeks. By the way, if you don't see this tweet from me by noon tomorrow, I need somebody to remind me. I'm going to take... Actually, it won't be ready by noon tomorrow. We need to wait for PFF on the Sunday night football game, probably in the afternoon. I'm going to be looking at Caleb Williams' stats and grades compared to Bryce Young in the first 2 weeks, and that's going to be a thing that I do. Continuing, I think there's a bunch of these. Bears going from Justin Fields to Caleb Williams. They got one picture. It's like a weight loss thing, and it's the exact same guy, but one of them is like him just standing farther away. Oh, they got Justin Fields truthers watching Caleb Williams, and it's a guy just, dancing with a bunch of ladies, just celebrating. It's a meme. The Bears are saying, Caleb, we need you to do something. And Caleb just says, I've been a nasty girl. I've been a nasty girl. I don't even understand that, but it's hilarious and it's probably true. You got Pickensburg, a Steelers account, posting a rage meme saying Bears fans when they realize Justin Fields is better than Caleb Williams. You got Golden Boys, 72,000 followers, home of the top sports betting Discord. They get involved in the conversation. They got a video here.
Got on my wrist doing front flips.
It's just a part of a music video, but there's a guy going, oh. It says Caleb Williams realizing NFL defenses are different than college football. You got LeBron James laughing hysterically into a towel with the caption from Hater Report, which I believe is an affiliate of Sleeper. They got the little Sleeper logo here, but it's kind of a satire thing, kind of ripping on Bleacher Report a little bit or whatever. But it says, Justin Fields watching Caleb Williams play worse in Chicago than he did. We got this one revisited. Text messages to Tory Taylor from Caleb Williams. Hey, you're not going to punt too much this year. Barstool Sports, 12 punts so far this season for the Bears. Here is, by the way, that magical play of Caleb Williams escaping the pocket and just making magic happen on the sideline. This is Barstool Sports with Big Cat and all his Bears fan friends hanging out watching the game. Here's their live reaction.
No. Yes. All right, Caleb, make a play. Make a play. Oh, no.
So that was oh no. Then he gets away, and they're saying, yes, make a play. And just the collective groan as he throws another pick, which, by the way, was his third interception of the day. One of them got negated by a penalty, but I don't care. He threw 3 interceptions, almost back to back to back. There were very few plays in between. We got more of the Bears going from Fields to Caleb, which is the same guy. You got more Justin Fields watching Caleb throw multiple interceptions with more offensive weapons, with sort of the memes going on. Life as a quarterback for the Chicago Bears. This from NFL memes. And it's just a picture of Justin Fields on top and Caleb on the bottom with the exact same facial expression, just of kill me now, sitting on the bench, head back, just ready to die. The tweet here says, game on the line, 4th down, Caleb Williams will not let the Bears go quietly into the night. And it's him just launching a pass into air. Nobody anywhere around. There's another tweet here. It says, Bo Nix, I'm the worst rookie quarterback. Caleb Williams.
Who do you think you are? I am.
That hits every time. You got Zach on Twitter saying at least Caleb Williams' favorite team won, posting a tweet from Caleb Williams saying, okay, I guess I'm still a Packer fan. You got the interception here. John says this Caleb Williams play would have gone for a 70-yard touchdown in the Pac-12. He's playing against grown men with families, so it's an interception. You get the idea. It's been a lot of fun on social media. It's just been a freaking blast. I got to get out of here. I need to go to bed. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.